I finally have it. I'm so excited. Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Turning pages, keep turning those pages. Time flies when you've been reading for ages. So my first impression of this book, there are a lot of characters, and I'm having kind of a hard time keeping track of who's who and who's related to the people from the Infernal Devices. I feel like I need a chart. But I also just rented Ghosts of the Shadow Market from the library, and actually, after listening to a little bit of the first story from that one's about Matthew and a little bit about Jamie, I'm actually getting to know the characters a lot better. I kind of put off reading Ghosts from the Shadow Market because that title, like, I didn't really know what it was about. I was like, I don't really care that much about the Shadow Market, so why do I want to read a whole book about it? I thought for some reason it was going to be about the Herondale guy from Lady Midnight, Kai, his dad. For some reason I thought that the book was going to be about him. I have no idea why. So I've been putting off reading it. Did I mention it was the audiobook? I don't remember. But I'm listening to the audiobook of that. And it's actually been really helpful and helping me keep track of the characters. Also, as far as an audiobook goes, the narrator has a really nice British accent, so it's very pleasant to listen to. My main issue with audiobooks is I find the narrator's voices irritating, and I really like this one. And it's got a couple different narrators, I think, for the different stories. But so far, that is very enjoyable as well. I also think the writing style in this is just really, really pretty. I think her new flowery Dark Artifices writing style works a lot better in this historical setting. I felt like it kind of slowed the Dark Artifices down a little bit, but I'm actually really enjoying it in this book. Also, in Ghosts of the Shadow Market, I read like the story about Matthew, and I love him so much. He's so sweet. Now I totally want him and Lucy to be together, even though so far there's not really an indication of that in Chain of Gold, but like, he's adorable. I love him. So I'm far enough into the story now where I'm starting to wonder, who do I ship together romantically? I already mentioned Lucy and Matthew. I think they'd be adorable, and not sure if Lucy likes anybody else at the moment. Possibly Jessie the Ghost, who I wonder if that was also inspired by The Mediator by Meg Cabot, that's got like Jessie, the very attractive ghost person. And I know I have a character named Jessie in one of my books who is definitely inspired by that character. The name of him anyway. The character himself is nothing like a Spanish ghost. He's Japanese. But anyway, back to this book. So I ship Lucy and Matthew. I kind of want Cordelia and James to be together, even though I know James likes Grace. But Cordelia likes James, so I'm hoping they get together because I really like Cordelia. I don't know Grace that well yet, so I'm not sure that I ship her with James. Right now I kind of like Cordelia better. That's just because I haven't gotten a perspective from Grace. She seems okay, but she doesn't seem to have as much of a personality as Cordelia yet. And who else? There's a lot of other characters. There's Christopher. There's, who's the fourth one? It's James, Matthew, Christopher. There's another boy who has a name. Thomas. There's also Thomas. I'm not sure what Thomas's deal is yet. From what I heard of Ghosts of the Shadow Market, I'm still only on the second story. Thomas might like Alistair, so I'm not sure who Thomas likes, like orientation-wise. So I'm not sure like who to ship him with yet. He seems very sweet though. I don't know. I just thought that would be kind of a fun thing to bring up. Right now I'm only 167 pages into this book. Some exciting stuff has happened, and I'm really enjoying it still. Here's a relaxing intermission. They walk with flowering trees. day was just so cloudy. But the flowers were still pretty. That scene with James and Cordelia in the whispering room at Hell Ruel, that was scandalous. I think James is actually starting to like Cordelia. My ship is starting to sail. It's leaving the docks. I'm sad that Lucy doesn't like Matthew. I was rooting for them. Oh my god, Grace is awful. First, she has the nerve to tell James to leave everybody he loves just to be with her. And then when he says no, she acts like he's the unreasonable one. I wish they would stop calling Matthew Math. What's wrong with Matt? It sounds so much better and does not remind me of my least favorite school subject. So the description of this demon guy in human form was interesting. On page 466, even his hands looked as if they had once been shaped for acts of divinity, for prayer and holy war at once. I get that this was supposed to be a dramatic description and everything, but like, what? What does that even mean? I'm having a hard time picturing what that's supposed to look like. They're just hands. Oh, Jessie saved James. Grace. I hate her so much. I want James and Cordelia to be together. This book makes me want to scream into a pillow. Grace is controlling James, so he doesn't think he loves Cordelia, even though I know he does. But they're getting fake married, and poor Cordelia, and Grace just needs to leave. She seems okay. Grace, I hate her so much. Oh boy, that ending. I mean, I knew Tatiana was up to no good, but like, she is super cray-cray. Okay. Despite the fact that I am very frustrated right now, I really loved this book. I think it has the potential to be my favorite Shadowhunters Chronicles series after The Mortal Instruments. I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but I really love Anna Lightwood as a character. She brought so much energy into every scene, and she's just great. I'm also obsessed with Lucy. She needs more page time, and I also love Matthew so much. I also loved seeing the Infernal Devices characters as parents. They were so adorable. This book was so much fun and so well written, and I can't wait for the rest of this series. And the rest of this video will actually be my final thoughts on Ghosts of the Shadow Market. So if you're not interested in that, farewell my friends. But if you are, let's get into it. I kind of forgot to keep updating about Ghosts of the Shadow Market. because the stories start to move forward in time and they're no longer about the Chain of Gold characters. But I love the story about Anna Lightwood. The scene at the end where she sat down with her mom was so sweet. I knew Cecily would be accepting of Anna because Cecily is amazing. There might be spoilers for Ghost of the Shadow Market. I'm not really sure. Possibly mild spoilers, because I'm not sure what exactly people would consider a spoiler. I don't know what books everybody has read, so what's a spoiler and what's not, so I'm just gonna say there's possibly spoilers for that in this little final thoughts thing. And then we get some other stories. There's a lot of Jem as Brother Zachariah, and while I do like Jem as a character, it got kind of repetitive at times. He loves Will and Tessa, he misses being human. It's all very tragic, but let's move along because I know everything works out fine. And anytime Tessa and Zachariah were together, it was also kind of boring because they're just so melodramatic. And I like them, but it just went on and on. Some of my favorite moments, aside from the first 3 stories, were when we got to see little Izzy, Alec, and Jace when Jace first moved into the Institute. And I really like the scene where Alec found little Raphael. I did not like the story where we learn about Jace's mother, Celine. It made things weird and upsetting, and I think I was happier not knowing all that. Yeah, there were a lot of tragic love stories in here. It was all very dramatic, and I keep saying that word, but like, it was very dramatic. I actually have not finished listening to the final story in Ghosts of the Shadow Market yet, but I wanted to film up the wrap up. But I wanted to film the wrap up for this video. So if I have anything significant to say about that story, I will splice it in here. The second to last story was about Ty and Livy from the Dark Artifices. That one, and especially the final story in the Tales of the Shadow Market, are definitely setting up for the next series, The Wicked Powers. So I really can't say anything about them because they're all just like a giant spoiler for the end of the Dark Artifices. But I will say that I am a little bit concerned about the Wicked Powers. As much as I would love to have more focus on the original Mortal Instruments crew, my babies, I swear, if anything bad happens to them, I will be so angry. They survived their series. They deserve to live in peace and happiness. I hate it when there are long extended timelines like this, and then they bring back people from the original beginning of everything just to kill them off. Don't you dare. Anyway, otherwise, thank you for joining me on this reading adventure. Have you read either of the books that I talked about in this video? Let's chat about them in the comments. Talking to you in the comments always makes my day, and I will see you soon for another video. Bye!